8th standard students, let us start from page number 208. On a squared paper, draw 5 squares of different sides. Write the following information in a tabular form. So in the tabular form, what you have to do, you will draw 5 different squares on the paper. Children, you will send this homework on my personal WhatsApp number. You don't send every time I tell you, but you don't send. But it is the base. If you will practice exercise is very easy for you. You can solve easily. But this also important. So what you will do, different squares you will draw, then length of side L, square 1, square 2, square 3, square 4, square 5. You will measure the sides or you will write here. Then perimeter you will find, that means if 2 centimeter, with 2 centimeter you are drawing a square 1, then perimeter will be 2 4s are 8. Then length upon perimeter, that means 2 upon 4. So 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. And same way you will find area. That means with 2 side is there, 2 centimeter of side is there, and then side into side area 4. Then length upon area 2 upon 4. Same ratio. So after that, what you will do, find whether the length of side is direct proportion to the perimeter of the square, the area of a square. If this L upon P and L upon A constant ratio is there, then definitely we can say the given value is in the direct proportion. So you will do and you will send the homework. The following ingredients are required to make halwa for 5 persons. Suji or rava 250 gram, sugar 300 gram, ghee 200 gram, water 500 milliliter. So we will take milk. Milk का हलवा बहुत अच्छा बनता है. We will not use water. सत्यनारायण की कथा में आप खाते हैं ना जो हलवा as a prasad, that. So, using the concept of proportion, estimate the change in the quantity of ingredients to prepare halwa for your class. So, this is the ingredients for 5 person. Okay. Now, you have to calculate for 40 person. Suppose that in our class strength is 41, but you will prepare for 40 person. For 40 students. Okay, so for 5 person is this, ratio is this. So you will find the ratio with 5 persons first. For sugar, for suji, for ghee, for water, then find the ratio for 40 person. Clear? So you will try to solve, otherwise I will help you. Choose a scale and make a map of your classroom showing windows, doors, blackboard, etc. An example is given here. You can see. It is called floor map. Door is window, board, that means classroom in this way. Okay, window, and 5 centimeter. Scale is taken 5 centimeter. 1:200. 5 ones are 5. If 5 we are taking, then this is 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. 1000 centimeter, that means 10 meter, the length of the room. So you will draw this map. Okay. So you will do this. Now think, discuss and write. Take a few problems discussed so far under direct variation. Do you think that they can be solved by unitary method? Definitely we can solve by unitary method. Suppose that for a 5 person 250 gram suji is required. Okay, so for 1 person, 250 divided by 5, 50 gram. So then 40%. So you can solve in this way also. Clear? So direct proportion, direct variations problem we can solve by unitary method also. Now inverse proportion. two quantities may change in such a manner that if one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases and vice versa. For example, as the number of workers increases, time taken to finish the job decreases. Suppose that 10 students are arranging the book in the library, bookshelf. Okay, so 10 students are arranging bookshelves in the library. Then 15 students that work. So total 15 students that work, they will finish in less time. So if number of students are increasing, so the time taken by the finish the work will be less. Similarly, if we increase the speed, okay, so distance in the less time we can cover the distance. To understand this, let us look into the following situation. Zahida can go to her school in 4 different ways. She can walk, run, cycle, or go by car. Study the following table. You can see here speed in kilometer per hour. Walking 3 kilometer per hour, so in 30 minutes. If she runs, so 6 kilometer per hour speed. With this speed she runs, so 15 minutes. In 15 minutes she can reach the school. By cycling, 9 kilometer per hour speed. If the cycle's speed is 9 kilometer per hour, then in 10 minutes. And by car, so in 2 minutes. So you can see here speed. Speeds are increasing, then time taken by Zahida is decreasing. So it is called inverse proportion. Now let us consider another example. A school wants to spend rupees 6,000 on mathematics textbooks. How many books could be bought at rupees 40 each? So divide this value by 40, because in rupees 40 we can purchase one book. So in rupees 40, how many books we can purchase? So 4 ones are 4, 4 5s are 20, and 0 cancel by 0. That means 150 books can be bought in rupees 6,000. If the price of textbook is more than rupees 40, then the number of books we can purchase less in rupees 6,000, less than 150, because in exact 40 rupees we can purchase 150 books. So in 50, if the price of book 50, then how many we can purchase? So 0 cancel by 0, 6,000 divided by 50, and 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 120. So now you can see here prices are increasing of books, the number of books are decreasing. So it is called inverse proportion. So see here, ratio by which the price of books increases when going from 40 to 50 is 4:5, and the price 5:4. Notice that the product of the corresponding values of the two quantities is constant, that is 40 into 150 and 50 into 120. 40 into 150 is equal 50 into 120, exact amount you are getting. If you in the direct proportion, what we do, we take ratio, and in indirect proportion we multiply. If we represent the price of one book as X and the number of books bought as Y, then price will increase, then number of books will be decrease. It is important to note that the product of XY remains constant. This value you will keep in your mind. In direct proportion, we take division 40 upon 50, 150, and 50 upon 120. But in direct inverse proportion, we multiply 40 into 150, 50 into 120. So it is important to note that the product xy remains constant. We say that x varies inversely with y and y varies inversely with x. Thus, two quantities x and y are said to be vary in inverse proportion if there exists a relation of the type xy equal to k. That means when we are multiplying, suppose that it is x and y. So if we are multiplying, so constant value will we will get in any situation. If we are multiplying this, in each and every condition we are getting the same amount, that means rupees 6,000. So xy equal to k, between them k being a constant. If y1, y2 are the values of y corresponding to the values x1, x2 of x respectively, then x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2 is equal to k. And simple, I am talking about direct proportion. In direct proportion, xy x1 upon y1 is equal to x2 upon y2. But in inverse proportion, x1 y1 equal to x2 y2. You can cross multiply. x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. We say that x and y are in inverse proportion. Here is an activity for better understanding of the inverse proportion. Let us start. Now you can see, take a squared paper and arrange 48 counters on it in different numbers of rows. Here 4 rows, 12 columns. 4 rows, 12 columns. You can see. Here 6 rows, 8 columns. If 2 rows are there, so 48 divided by 2, so 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are, so 24 will be here. 24 columns are there. For 3 rows, divide 48 by 3, 16 columns we will get. And for 8, 6. Now, in each and every case, 2 into 16, 20 into 24 into 3. Constant number we will get. It is 24. I am writing here, okay? So it will be clear for you. Now what do you observe? As R increases, that means number of rows are increasing, then number of columns are decreasing. You can see. What do you observe? So observed. Now is R1 upon R2 is equal to C2 is to C1. So R1 upon R2. I am writing here R1 upon R2 is C2 16 upon 24. Let's see. 4 4s are 16. 4 6s are 2 2s are 2 3s are. Yes. Is R3 upon R4. So R3 upon R4. 4 upon 6. 2 2s are 2 3s are 2 upon 3. Now C4 is to C3. C4. 4 2s are 8. 4 3s are 12. So 2 upon 3 is equal to 2 upon 3. Yes. Are R and C inversely proportional to each other? Yes. Try this activity with 36 counters. The meaning of counters, gold ticky or these dots. Okay. Now see here. Observe the following tables and find which pair of variables here x and y are in inverse proportion. So what you will do? Cross multiplication. By cross multiplication, it will be easy for you. 50 into 6, 300. And 5 into 4, 200. Then 7, zeros are 0 and 7 4s are 28 and 6. So this you will check it is in proportion or not. Or simple is 50 upon 40 and then 6 upon 5. Equal? Not equal. So this is not in inverse proportion. See here, 100 into 30, 3000, and 60 into 200, 12,000. Now constant value you are getting, we will check. Or in other way, 100 upon 200, that means 1 upon 2, and 30 upon 60, 1 upon 2. So multiply this 100 into 60 and 200 into 30. Clear? We will multiply in this way. Here also, but it is not equal. We have checked. Now in this, 90 into 10. In direct proportion we divide 90 upon 10. But here we will multiply 90, 10. Because you can see the value are decreasing and here increasing. So inverse proportion. So 90 into 10, 900, and 60 into 15, 900. In other way, I am solving here beta. 90 upon 10, 90 upon 60, because inverse proportion. 3 3s are and 3 2s are. 3 upon 2. Now check 15 upon 10. 5 3s are, 5 2s are. So both the values are equal. Same way we will check for this. Clear? 60 upon 45, 20 upon 15 in this way. So this is not in inverse proportion, but these are. Let us consider some examples where we use the concept of inverse proportion. Okay. When two quantities x and y are in direct proportion or very directly, they are also written as x proportional to y. That means when we increase the value of x, the value of y will increase automatically. When two quantities x and y are in inverse proportion or very inversely, they are also written as x proportional to 1 upon y. That means if one value of x we will increase, value of 1 upon y will decrease. Okay.